we've got a second story this week where a girl picks up surfing after a breakup. I love these. I learned to surf because after he had his first lesson in Malibu, I wasn't about to give my husband the satisfaction of being the only surfer in our family. But I had to learn to swim first. But wait, today isn't about me. It's about Nicola. Welcome to the Wipeout Weekly, the daily podcast for beginners, wannabe surfers, and seasoned wipeout enthusiasts. No hype, no filler, just the highs, lows, and honest truth about learning to surf and finding your place in surf culture. I'm your host, Suze Wilson. Let's go out. This is Nicola's story. My name is Nicola and I am 30 years old, originally from Prague, Czech Republic. I've spent the last 8 years living in Antwerp, Belgium. In my 20s, I decided to move abroad, embarking on a journey that would open my world and mind. My adventure into surfing began unexpectedly. After a few years in Belgium, I took a holiday with my partner in Portugal in 2018 and booked a stay at a hostel in Peniche that offered surf lessons. Thanks to my mother, I've always had a good relationship with sports, so I embraced the opportunity to try something new. Despite my small fear of swimming underwater, because I struggled to hold my breath for long, I signed up for a full week of lessons without any prior experience. From my very first lesson, I liked it very much. I can still remember getting up early, leaving the warmth of my bed and feeling the cold air against my skin. Pulling on my wetsuit over my bikini, I felt a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Walking to the beach was peaceful. There were no crowds, just the sound of waves breaking and the sun rising above the sea. I approached the water with little expectation. I knew surfing was one of the most challenging sports, deserving of huge respect. I was naive and expected warm sea temperatures, only to find the water very cold, even with my wetsuit on. But after a few explanations, I dove into the waves. To my surprise, I managed to stand up on my board within moments, even though I fell countless times, more than I could count on my fingers. My initial fear of underwater swimming vanished instantly. There was no time to think about holding my nose or preparing for a dive. It just happened in the blink of an eye. Despite the falls, I continued riding waves, driven by the excitement of catching my first wave and gliding to the shore. It was an unforgettable moment. Unfortunately, after that week, I returned to Belgium and didn't surf for quite a while. Life's challenges, including the pandemic, made me forget about surfing. But it stayed in my mind as something amazing that I wanted to experience again. I cherished the connections I made during my first trip, bonding over our shared excitement and life stories. This year, after ending a long-term 8-year relationship, I returned to Portugal for another holiday. Feeling drained from the past year, I sought a peaceful, warm place. I once again booked a week at the surf hostel, this time in Sagres, even though I was a bit worried about having forgotten everything and fearing a potential disaster. To my surprise, I was able to stand on my board from the first day. The first day's conditions were intimidating. The sea was wild and rough. As a complete beginner, it was scary. I recall a moment where my instructor urged me to paddle out. But after several head dives, where I fought against waves, I started to panic, worrying I might drown. It felt like a battle for survival, just before attempting to catch my first wave. Yet, when I finally stood up and rode that wild wave, a wave of warmth and pride washed over me. I realized the resilience I had and how far I could push myself. I had an amazing time in Portugal once again, and it left a lasting mark on my heart. I may still be a beginner with little knowledge about surfing, and I don't even own a board, but the experiences I've had so far have been incredible. Portugal will always hold a special place in my heart, forever linked to my surf journey. Of course, I've started thinking big, envisioning beautiful destinations like Costa Rica, Sri Lanka, or Bali. I'm open to learning and trying to surf in any country where possible. Even though I'm not very experienced, I feel surfing got under my skin in some kind of way, and I would like to learn more. In those moments, sitting on my board, waiting for a wave to come, I felt the freedom surfing brings, the happiness and enthusiasm of connecting with other surfers who cheered me on as a beginner. I long to continue learning and immersing myself in this beautiful sport. But my current situation and the country I live in don't provide frequent opportunities for surfing. Living in Belgium without a car where my job keeps me busy on weekends, it's challenging to join any surf sessions or some surf people. Surfing can be an expensive sport when your job barely covers the cost of living alone. But it continues to be something I'm excited to explore more deeply, especially as I connect with others who share this enthusiasm. I've come to respect surfers more and understand my own body and abilities better. I also have a deep appreciation for the sea and water. I often find myself dreaming big, fueled by my passion for art. Recently, I painted a surfboard for a friend, which reminded me again that I like surfing. I worked on it for 12 hours non-stop through the night. I just couldn't stop. I used a combination of high-quality markers and varnish as the final layers. The finish was a challenge. I had to consider salty water, pressure, standing, waxing. The entire project took me about 20 hours. Why the orange octopus, you asked? My friend is partial to both orange color and these amazing sea creatures. He also sports an octopus tattoo on his back. Beyond my art, I sometimes dream of creating a vibrant community of like-minded individuals, all living in harmony with nature and embracing the freedom born in such a place. Somewhere where people can join retreats, art therapy, surf, and maybe create a place where I could even blend my artistic skills or cooking skills, as I used to work as a sous chef. It remains vivid in my mind, and I am wholeheartedly open to it. And that's all for today. Check out the Wipe Weekly for our free newsletter, more stories and ways to connect with us. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow for more of the Wipe Weekly.